The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Vexthor's clawed hand struck young Leo across the face. The 8-year-old human stumbled backward, clutching his cheek, tears welling in his eyes but refusing to fall. "Insolent spawn!" Vexthor hissed, his reptilian features twisted in disgust. "You dare speak in the presence of your betters?" Leo had only asked a question, a simple, innocent query about why humans weren't allowed in the Central Gardens like other species' children. But to the Crithian ambassador, any human voice was an offense. What Vexthor didn't notice was the small, stocky creature that had been sleeping in Leo's backpack. What he didn't know was that honey badgers had been humanity's companions for 3 generations now, ever since the genetic renaissance allowed Earth's animals to achieve enhanced intelligence and lifespans to match their human partners. And what he absolutely didn't understand was that you never, ever touched a honey badger's human. Lavia's eyes snapped open. The female honey badger, barely 2 feet long but rippling with bio-enhanced muscle, emerged from the pack with the fluid grace of a predator who had never known fear. Her black and white fur bristled and a low growl rumbled from her throat, a sound that somehow seemed to fill the entire council chamber despite her small size. "My turn," Lavia said, her voice carrying the synthesized clarity that the translation implants provided. The chamber erupted into chaos. Vexthor turned, his vertical pupils dilating as he assessed the small earth creature. He laughed, a wet, rasping sound. "A pet?" "The human child hides behind a—" He never finished the sentence. Lavia moved like lightning wrapped in fur. She launched herself at the Crithian ambassador, her reinforced claws extending. Her jaws, capable of crushing bone, snapping with audible force. Vexthor was nearly 7 feet tall and weighed 300 pounds. Lavia was 25 pounds of concentrated fury. It didn't matter. The ambassador's guards rushed forward, weapons drawn. 12 trained Crithian warriors, each one a veteran of the border wars, each one confident in their superiority over any earth creature. They learned quickly. Lavia was a blur of motion. She dodged plasma bolts with contemptuous ease, her enhanced reflexes making the shots seem to move in slow motion. When the first guard tried to grab her, she twisted midair, sank her teeth into his wrist and used his own momentum to fling him into 2 of his companions. The crack of breaking bones echoed through the chamber. "Stand down," someone shouted. It might have been the council moderator. Lavia didn't care. Another guard swung an electrostaff. Lavia caught it in her jaws, her bio-enhanced saliva shorting out the weapon in a shower of sparks. She released it and sprang onto the guard's chest plate, her claws finding the weak points in his armor with surgical precision. He went down screaming. Leo watched, wide-eyed and forgotten in the chaos. His cheek still stung, but he felt something else now. Pride. Lavia wasn't just protecting him. She was making a statement. Humans had been the newest members of the Galactic Council, arriving only 50 years ago with their enhanced animal companions. They'd been mocked, dismissed, relegated to the lowest tiers of galactic society. Too soft, the other species said. Too emotional. Too attached to their primitive animal bonds. But what the galaxy hadn't understood, what they were learning now, was that humanity's bonds with their animals weren't a weakness. They were a force multiplier. Vexthor, bleeding from a dozen lacerations, tried to crawl away. Lavia planted herself in front of him, her small body radiating menace. Her lips curled back, revealing teeth that had been enhanced to cut through military-grade armor. "You struck my human," Lavia said, her voice deadly calm now. "A child. An innocent. And you did it because you thought there would be no consequences." "I am an ambassador," Vexthor wheezed. "Diplomatic immunity." "Diplomatic immunity," Lavia interrupted, "doesn't apply to assault on minors. Article 7, Section 3 of the Galactic Charter. I checked before we came here. Unlike you, I actually read the laws." The remaining guards had backed away. They'd seen enough. Their training had prepared them for warfare, for combat against other species, for suppressing rebellions. Nothing had prepared them for a 25-pound ball of enhanced teeth and claws that fought like she had absolutely nothing to lose. Because honey badgers never had anything to lose. That was their secret. That was what made them perfect partners for humanity. Ambassador Chen, Leo's mother and Earth's primary representative, finally pushed through the crowd. She assessed the situation in an instant. Her son, shaken but unharmed. Vexthor, defeated and bleeding. the council chamber in shambles, and Lavia, standing guard over both her human and her dignity. "Lavia," Ambassador Chen said quietly. "Stand down, please." The honey badger looked at her human's mother, then at Leo. The boy nodded, still holding his cheek. Slowly, deliberately, Lavia stepped back, but her eyes never left Vexthor. "He struck a child," Lavia said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "By the laws of this council, that's assault. I defended my companion. That's my right under the partnership accords." The council moderator, a Zendari whose blue skin had paled to almost white, finally found his voice. This is unprecedented." "No," Ambassador Chen said, her voice hard. "What's unprecedented is a council member assaulting a child in these chambers." Lavia acted within her rights, and if this council has a problem with that, then perhaps Earth needs to reconsider its membership. Silence fell. It was a bold threat. Humanity was one of the few species capable of faster-than-light travel without using the council's gate system. Their military, while small, was highly mobile and unpredictable. And after today's display, everyone in the chamber understood something new about humans and their companions. They weren't separate. They were pack. And you didn't strike one without answering to them all. Leo walked over to Lavia and knelt down, wrapping his arms around her stocky body. "Thank you," he whispered into her fur. Lavia's fierce expression softened. "Always, little human. Always." Vexthor was escorted out under guard, his diplomatic career in ruins. The council session was adjourned. And across the galaxy, on ships and stations and colonies, the story began to spread. The story of how humanity's pets weren't pets at all. They were partners, warriors, family. And you really, really shouldn't mess with their family. As they left the chamber, Leo looked up at his mother, then down at Lavia. "Do you think they'll leave us alone now?" Lavia showed her teeth in what might have been a smile. "They'd better. Because next time I'm bringing my cousins." Ambassador Chen smiled despite herself. Somewhere on Earth, there were thousands of enhanced honey badgers, wolves, eagles, and other species, all bonded to human companions, all ready to stand up for their pack. The galaxy had been warned. Humanity had arrived, and they hadn't come alone.